Hello, everyone in this great, great world. Welcome back to the channel. This is Zip. And if you're new here, this channel is all about breaking down the future of finance and discussion around crypto. If you do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you absolutely don't miss anything that we discuss. I'm a utility maxi invested in high utility coins that are going to provide real world value like HBAR, XRP, ISO 222 coins. And tonight we're going to be diving into massive updates about Hedera and what's going on there. HBAR holders, you're going to love this one. And it should absolutely build more confidence in Hedera's future when we get done with this video tonight. It's been a while since I've done an HBAR video, but been building up the catalog of things that have been going on, from a $4 million builder fund to AI agents and a game-changing macro vision for the financial system and the future. Hedera is absolutely making the right moves. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, first off, let's set the stage. The financial system as we know it, it is absolutely shifting big time. We can see all the puzzle pieces coming together with regulations and what's going on around the world. Companies like BlackRock, Franklin Templeton are tokenizing assets. Governments are talking about crypto adoption, especially in the USA, and projects like Hedera, Ripple, Stellar are at the forefront of this transformation. But what about Hedera? It's absolutely positioning itself as a utility for the next era of finance. And the updates we've got today are going to prove that. It's not just talk, it's about action. And that's what we're going to see this evening. So let's zoom in. Where's Hedera headed long term? I like to give the macro view as we're having these discussions and give you the long-term outlook as we're building our portfolios, as we're adding to our asset pile, as the prices are still reasonably cheap. But I caught this killer podcast from Hive Mind, and it has Charles Atkins, who is the CEO of the HBAR Foundation. And what's his vision? Everything that I talk about, and that's enveloped around a long-term macro vision. In 10 years, Hedera is not just a standalone project. It's a utility that's going to be baked into every layer of tech that's going to need trust. So you think streaming payments, no more waiting for paychecks for every 2 weeks, IoT devices, healthcare. He calls it a commodity like coffee beans. But let's listen to what he has to say, because he'll say it better than I do. So let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth of where the future of Hedera is going and why you should have confidence if you are invested in this asset.
So we've done them now. Let's move to the future. You've talked about Hedera's potential as a trust layer, public utilities trust. Your words have been out there for sure. If Hedera manages to achieve this vision, what does it look like in 10 years, and what's the biggest challenge standing in your way?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it looks like in 10 years is we don't really speak about Hedera as a standalone company. It's a utility that's built into almost every layer of the internet and technology that needs trust built into it. And, you know, like we kind of talked about the idea of streaming finance and streaming earnings and payments,
right?
That becomes a real thing. You know, the waiting 2 weeks for your paycheck, probably not a thing in 10 years. It's as you work, your pay comes in, and it's almost, you know, like a fuel gauge. It'll move up and down, and you know how things are going. That changes credit markets. I would say any area of technology, ubiquitous computing is obviously something that's likely going to take over the bulk of our lives in the next 10 years. I mean, everything from healthcare to AR, VR, IoT devices. The baseline of it all is there safety, is there trust, and what is the proof of human behind who's actually operating these?
Yep.
It's something that Hedera can actually just inbuild into current systems or things being built, and it doesn't have to stand alone as a technology. So, as technology rapidly improves, I encourage everybody to build in systems like Hedera just into their actual hardware, into their software, as just a needed feature to what everyone else is building. That is, one of the reasons I always position Hedera as a commodity. It's, everybody can have access to it. And I make the really rudimentary comparison to coffee beans. It's like coffee beans are not that exciting on their own. They're bought, sold, and traded. But when a coffee bean is purchased and it moves into a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts or, another somebody who actually does something with it, creates a business around it, well, then that commodity becomes really exciting.
Absolutely exciting. And this is exactly what we want to hear in these investments that we have, these assets from an investment perspective. It's a long-term macro vision to build confidence in the future of this blockchain. And Hedera is right on track. And you should be very excited if you're invested in this. If you're not financial advice, but I would definitely take a look at this project because it is, from a price perspective, it's at a good entry point still to get in early before this stuff starts to catch fire as the regulations and everything around this environment comes into play. So speaking of apps, let's talk about DeFi and what's going on in the DeFi space, because Hedera is absolutely killing it here as well. We know Bonzo Finance is building to be Hedera's liquidity level, as we can see here, with lending, borrowing, yield optimization, and soon to be bridging wrapped major projects, coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum. In order to do that, they're going to be using technology and projects through layer 0 and Axelar, as we can see here. As we can see, all this multi-interoperable connected systems are all working together. We know Axelar is absolutely going to be huge, is working with Ripple as well, and many other layer 1 technologies to bridge all of them together. And then there's Saucer Swap as far as DeFi and what's going on there. They're aiming to absolutely be the biggest non-Ethereum based DEX by 2026. And then we add to that in DeFi, we add Chainlink's data feeds and proof of reserves integration from late 2024 when that came out working with HBAR. And you've got an absolutely amazing DeFi ecosystem that is ready to scale into the future. This isn't just retail hype, right? This is for institutional grade liquidity capital coming in to the HBAR blockchain in the very near future, as all the regulations in the US are being discussed that will provide those huge inflows into Hedera. So absolutely exciting news there as well. Now, here's the kicker. Institutional DeFi and Chainlink's Siri Nazaroff said it best at the Digital Asset Summit in 2025. And this is what he had to say. Now, let's take a listen to this so we get a clear perspective of how big and where this DeFi environment is going from a Web3 perspective.
Sergey, you were speaking to the President of the United States 2 weeks ago. It's a very surreal moment, I have to say. But, how would you say this recent regulatory shift, this positivity is, what potential does it have to impact DeFi specifically?
Yeah, so it's basically the key unlock that I think our industry was waiting for. I think Bitcoin transactions and kind of the early versions of DeFi were for one group of users, kind of the DeFi degen community, which we all love and are a part of, and is great and is going to continue and is going to grow massively. But I think there's now another community forming, which is the institutional DeFi community. And that institutional DeFi community is going to eat up more and more of the global financial system. And I think the people in Washington, D.C. understand this. They understand that the internet-based financial system was a transition from paper, and now there's a transition from the internet-based financial system to the Web3 financial system. And that understanding definitely did not exist there 4 or 5 months ago, because they were still thinking about how do we just stop and everything? How do we slow everything? How do we kill everything? How do we not allow anything to be transacted or any teams to be in the US or any of this stuff? So it's a massive shift. And I think they are sometimes thinking about how do I encourage teams to come back to the US. But I think what will actually be the more important outcome due to the global nature of our industry is how do all the assets get issued in the United States? And then how do those assets go into the most reliable DeFi protocol like Aave to be, lended against and all those type of things. And it's not necessarily critical that the team that runs Aave or the DAO or the contributors are all in the US. What's more important is that the DeFi system, the DeFi ecosystem can function in the US financial system.
Again, and that is absolutely what is happening. Institutions are not just dipping their toes in, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be bringing trillions on chain to environments like Hedera. Tokenized real estate, we're talking about treasuries, you name it. Hedera's infinite scalability, low fees, make it a prime candidate to be able to handle all of this flood of utility and tokenization coming on chain. Retail is great, but we want the institutions, and that's why we need the regulations and everything that is unfolding right before our eyes to happen. It's absolutely, it's going to be a snowball effect that turns $100 billion in DeFi into $10 trillion as all of this tokenization starts to come into effect. What else does HBAR have going on within its environment? AI. We know the AI narrative is absolutely pumping bags and hyped up across the crypto environment. And it's no different within Hedera. The Hashgraph online DAO just dropped the Convergence AI. It's a decentralized AI standard for Hedera. So let's picture this. We're going to have AI agents that are launching on Hedera's network, tied to the consensus service for trust and efficiency. And it's not just hype. This taps into everything from DeFi automation to IoT. Hedera is playing every strong narrative in this cycle. We have the AI, we have real world assets, we have gaming, and it's all an all-in-one crypto blockchain powerhouse is what it is lining up to be. So again, AI is absolutely going to be huge. This was a very exciting environment. I cannot wait to see where this goes with regards to these AI agents. We'll have trading agents. There's all kinds of implementation and technology that is coming into the future within the Hedera ecosystem, and excited to be here as a holder as well as you should be. So now let's talk about another announcement, the Thrive protocol announcement, which was made a few weeks ago in early March. They've launched a $4 million HBAR builder fund. So up to 180,000 HBAR per project that is authorized or accepted. And applications are still open, and they're targeting what? DeFi, GameFi, AI integration, and real world assets, and even meme coin infrastructure. So the cool thing here is the structure, right? The funds aren't just handed out up front. So there's going to be a vetting and a validation of what these projects are going to be doing. So the projects need to launch, deliver, and prove their worth over time. So this is how real value is built. It's not just about having partnerships that are dead-end promises that don't lead to anything. These kind of targeted, this Thrive protocol announcement and other live integrations are absolutely what supercharges Hedera's ecosystem in the short term and gives us that long-term macro vision for developers. And that's what we want to see in any project that you are invested in. So here's another practical win. We know that this just dropped. The Bitnomial live trading on futures, absolutely another practical win for HBAR. HBAR futures are live on the exchange, fully CFTC regulated and physically settled. We know XRP and DAO also got the same treatment recently. So all this is transformation, but why is it so huge? Again, more markets means more volume. more buyers and a bigger spotlight on Hedera and us as HBAR holders. Some say that this could absolutely pave the way for what? An HBAR ETF. And imagine that. That's what we've been waiting for. That's what we'd like to see. Just like all the XRP ETFs that are being pushed out there, we want to see the same thing happen with HBAR. And when it does, we know that's going to bring on large institutions, more retail flow into the blockchain, which what equals really price increase, price go up. And that's what we're here for at the end of the day, profit. So why Hedera? It's absolutely simple. It's built for the new financial system that is changing and becoming more efficient, more scalable. And Hedera is absolutely trusted by enterprises. So when BlackRock tokenizes $1 billion fund or governments begin to issue CBDCs, and we know in America we're not doing a CBDC, but the bottom line, other countries are still on that path. They're going to need a network like Hedera. So Hedera is not just chasing fake pumps. It is chasing utility. And that falls in line with my investment thesis. And that's why it's one of my largest other projects that I'm invested in, along with the rest of my portfolio, because it has real world utility. And absolutely excited about this project. I hope you enjoyed everything tonight. Hope this rundown gave you a quick overview of what's going on in the Hedera ecosystem and the future excitement that's going on. Again, we talked about the Thrive Fund, AI agents, the live trading for futures on there, a vision absolutely to power the future. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are brand new to crypto, brand new in this environment, or just getting an introduction to Hedera and HBAR, we are absolutely in the early innings of this financial revolution. And the puzzle pieces are just now starting to come together. So there's still time. You're way early. And again, that's why I like to have a long-term macro view, but you can absolutely have a front row seat in this environment in Hedera and a lot of the other great utility projects that are going to start to become front and center in this revolution. So let me know what you guys think. Are you bullish on Hedera? Are you an HBAR holder, or did this open your eyes and now you're going to look at the project a little bit more? Again, drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me what you think. I hope you enjoyed everything. Please smash the like button, hit the subscribe again if you haven't, and follow me up on X as I put out content on there so we can grow a community that resonates together. And we're traveling through this crypto journey, this marathon together. And until next time, Zip is out.